Yes, the title is very true. I did quit my job. But hold on, before you start calling me stupid, I need you to listen. So overall, I had a multitude of reasons on why I did quit my job. And no, it's not because I just don't like working. That is simply not true. What is true, however, is the damages it did to not only my mental health, but also my physical health. My job was literally killing me, is probably the best way I can put it. Oh, Jaden, how is it killing you? You're just a big baby, get over it. Brother. So basically, the job I had was very physically demanding on my body. I was constantly required to lift heavy things, which is fine. You know, that would totally be fine if they paid me decent. I'm just gonna be completely honest and open about what they were paying me. Try to guess in the comments. I'll give you a second. It was $12.25 an hour, which, you know, it actually isn't that bad. I'm only 17 years old and I don't have to pay for a mortgage, a house, or bills. I only have to pay for certain things like insurance, gas, that sort of thing. So what am I getting at? One of the biggest reasons I quit was because of how much they were overworking me and, to put it harshly, using me. I mean, shoot. From the work I was doing, you would expect me to be making at least $17 to $18 per hour, but that was just not the case. And that's not even the worst part. I worked in a farm and fleet store, so this wasn't like a Walmart. It was a retail store, but it wasn't, you know, just the basic stocking shelves. There's more so throwing bags of animal feed and moving heavy parts to tractors or sandbags or concrete. You know, it was kind of an all-in-one package. At least that's what I signed up for. What they ended up having me do was way worse than that. So if you ever have bags of feed, or if you live on a farm, you might know of this very common, unfortunate issue that happens sometimes. Sometimes there's these little parasites or little bugs or whatever the hell you want to call them. They're called mold mites, and they love protein and mold, and they love getting into these bags of feed. Now, why am I telling you this? Because we had so many mites at this store, and then a lot of the bags of feed, and guess whose job it was to get rid of them? This guy. I mean, I was basically a goddamn exterminator. That was not in my job application. And you know, that's whatever. You know, I can let that slip. But it's the way they went about it. You want to know how they wanted me to get rid of these bugs? They wanted me to use a very potent, toxic chemical pesticide called Silence Ultra. Now, there are many things wrong with that, and I'll kind of state some of the obvious. First of all, it's illegal to use Silence Ultra on bags of feed. Second of all, you have to be a trained professional to use it. I'm just a sales associate, and I'm 17 years old. Third of all, if you are a trained professional, you are required to wear the proper equipment, such as a respiratory mask, goggles. All I had were gloves. And when I was cleaning some of these bags off, a thing happened. I got super dizzy, and that's no bueno. And this happened on multiple occasions, all right? And these little mites, guess what? The Silence Ultra doesn't even kill them. So I'm literally putting my health at risk for no reason. But let's just put all of that aside and let's get into the physical health. That was a lead cause in my decision of quitting. If you don't already know, I go to the gym 6 days a week after work at night. Now, that's great, but the only problem is since it's after work, my body is completely shot and my nervous system is destroyed, and I'm so weak after work. And I thought with school coming up, it's not going to be any better. And the worst part is I didn't even realize this before it was too late. Story time. But anyways, what I'm getting at is my job was literally ruining my muscle gains, because you're not supposed to work your muscles after your nervous system's already shot, or else it'll just harm your body. And I realized this, and since lifting is so important to me, I needed to come up with a solution, and the best solution was just to leave. All right, now let's talk about the last big reason: the mental health struggles. Now, before you call me a big baby, I need you to have consideration of the last big reasons I've told you and think about what that's going to put on your mind. All right, that's going to put on a lot of stress up here. And oh boy, I've been working at this job for about a year and a half, I want to say. That means I worked during my entirety of my junior year of high school. And oh boy, it was hard, because this was what would happen. I would wake up at 7 in the morning, get ready, go to school from 8:15 to 3:15, and then I would go to work 4 to 8, and I would go to the gym. So I'd get home at like 10, and that gave me no free time. And honestly, I didn't even go to the gym that much back then. I only started taking it super seriously recently, but I still didn't have much free time. All right, I was just 16 years old, and on top of this, I have a girlfriend that I need to, spend time with. I mean, that's a given. So it was very hard to manage all those together and have a clear mind space. And I ended up having so much stress. I mean, I couldn't give the time my girlfriend needed, and I needed to focus on myself, but I couldn't because I was working on school, I was working on work, and I was working on my girlfriend. It was just too much for my body to handle and too much for my brain to handle. So all of these reasons I felt like is a good reason to call it quits. And no, I didn't just call it quits. I obviously put in my 2 weeks, so I haven't actually quit yet. I still have 2 more weeks to go starting today, so my last day will actually be August 12th. But either way, that's a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I feel so much better. But let's talk about the downside. All right, now you may call me dumb, and that's okay, but I do not have a job lined up after this. I didn't really have a plan. I started these YouTube channels, and I was hoping these would take me kind of somewhere eventually, because that would be really cool, and I know the chances are very slim, but I thought if I put my mind to it, maybe quitting would give me a little bit more time to focus on my YouTube channels. And it's really immature to think that way, because like I just said, the chances of even making a single penny off of these videos is slim to none. That's why I need your help to like this video and stuff, you know the rest. On a serious note, what is my plan right now? Because I still have bills to pay. I did end up saving up some money so I can freeload off of that for a bit, but what comes after that? Because money is finite. I don't have an infinite amount, and I can't just ignore all my bills. I have gas and insurance to pay. So what am I gonna do? Well, I've been looking at some jobs, but there's not too many options for what I want to do. I live in a small town, so I don't have that many choices, to put it simply. But I assure you, I will figure it out like I always do. If you want to know if I find a job or if this YouTube takes off, then please consider subscribing and coming back, in a week or two and seeing what has happened with my life so far, if you're interested, that is. But I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to go on a rant about why I quit. That's pretty much it. See ya.